Singleton, and I will be saying the parable of the lost coin, modernized by Daniel O'Rourke. The lost Wi-Fi. Timmy is 8. His parents do not allow him to have a phone, thinking he'll prank call a cheese factory. Instead, they offer him an iPod Touch, confident that he will be able to text mom and dad. The next day, Timmy reaches school and enjoys the free Wi-Fi his school provides. Timmy cherishes his 5 full bars. After school, he walks back home and then realizes he needs to text his parents. For whatever reason, Timmy finds it vital to text his parents about the hawk he saw instead of waiting to get home. Suddenly, Timmy realizes that he can't text. Then he sees it, a blank nothingness in the spot where 5 juicy bars of coverage Timmy once used. Now he realizes he has data on his iPod Touch. Yes, you can have a plan for an iPod Touch. I've had one. But then remembers he can't use it because it's expensive. Timmy then searches for Wi-Fi again and again, never stopping even when he gets 4 bars. He looks for his 5th and final bar. Then suddenly he finds 5 bars. He texts everyone saying, "Yes, I found my bars, celebrate with me." His parents responded saying, "Well, that is great, but you can text us. Now is your bedtime, so get home now." Timmy obeys immediately. He goes to bed happy. This is how Timmy found all 5 bars to contact his parents. The end.
Hello, my name is Ryan Glennon, and I will be reading a modernized version of the parable, The Lost Sheep. No man left behind. The United States military has faithfully lived up to this motto, even when others do not agree. For example, if the military sends 100 men on a patrol and one is captured, they will go in to recover that one man. When my grandfather, William Glennon, was in Vietnam, he was separated from his patrol group and found himself in unfriendly territory. However, his fellow soldiers soon came to his rescue. Although he was later reprimanded by his commanding officer, he realized that his fellow soldiers had risked their safety to rescue him. Just as the U.S. military is unwilling to leave even a single man behind, God is unwilling to lose one of his followers. He is deeply saddened when people turn away from him. When people find God in their lives, he rejoices, even more so than when a believer repents from sin.
Afraid, I hold my head high and whistle a happy Parable of the Lost Son, modernized by Alicia D'Souza. There was a father who lived with two daughters, the older one, Mary, and the younger one, Annabeth. They were a happy and close family. But one day, the younger daughter asked her father if she could have her share of her inheritance. The older daughter thought this was silly and complained. "Dad, why would you give her money that you worked hard to get?" The father did not listen because he was happy to give her the money. He said nothing while he was handing over the money, but smiled. Annabeth was happy and decided to go shopping. Once she got there, all she could think about was clothes. She didn't even care for the price. All she knew was that she was having the best time of her life, but before she knew it, she had no money left. She knew her dad would be devastated, so she did not go home. She went to her condo and waited until she was evicted. After a month, a horrible drought came and nobody had any water to drink, and so she was thirsty. She decided that she needed a job so she can go to a different state and live. Fortunately, she found a job being a nanny. These people were very wealthy but gave her only $2 a week. She had no food and no water due to the drought. She was always staring at the kids' food but never got any. Finally, she had to leave. She thought her father would hire her because he was always a reasonable man, so she started walking. The next day, she got home. Her dad was in the kitchen cleaning it when he saw her. He ran to the doorway and almost instantly came running to her. She was surprised to see him. He grabbed her by the arms and started hugging and kissing her. She pulled him away and said, "Dad, I have failed. I wasted all your money and now I have none." She started crying and her dad wiped the tears. "Honey, I don't care. What you did was in the past and this is now." He turned and looked at Mary, who was eyeing them angrily. "Go get her clean clothes and tell the family to get a feast going. My daughter was lost and now she is found. She is dead and now she is alive." Then they celebrated. Mary was angry and did not want to come in. Her father went out to see why she was acting up and said, "Why don't you want to join us?" She answered angrily, "I have always been here for you, doing all the slaving and doing all the dirty work. I have been taking care of everything that goes on here, and you never gave me anything or threw me a party. But yet you celebrated when Annabeth, who I might add has wasted half of your money, comes home." All he could do was shake his head. "I love you, and everything I own is yours, but we celebrated because your sister was lost, and now she is found. She was dead, but now she was alive." So she followed him inside, and they celebrated.
You can't stop an avalanche as it races down the hill.
You can try to stop the season, but you'll know you'll never will.
And you can try to stop my dancing feet, but I just cannot stand still. And the world keeps spinning round and round, and my heart keeps knocking the beat of you. You're not the world, but something out my way. You can't stop
Esther Park, and I will be reading a modernized version of The Sower and the Seeds. Telephone preachers. One day, a business called the telephone preachers called a young lady. She answered immediately and told them to take her number off of their list. Then they called another person, and she answered and became very interested. But she quickly answered a call from another business and quickly switched. Next, the preachers called a man. He answered and expressed a lot of interest. A few weeks later, he lost his job because of his belief, so he instantly abandoned his faith. The final person the preachers called was a young man. He understood and accepted the message. He continued to spread the word and persevered through the hardships the world threw at him.
Hello, my name is John Pugh, and I'm going to be reading the parable of the master and the servant. Imagine that you are a child doing a chore such as cleaning your room. Will your parents say, "Come, you can have free time and watch TV"? Waiting for the slide. Wouldn't the parent rather say, "Clean your room first, and then you can have free time"? Would the parent greatly reward the child because he did what he was told to do? So remember, do your work humbly without expecting a reward.
Go together like Rama, Rama, Rama,
The Parable of the Talents, modernized by Dylan Wagner. The money in trust. One day, a CEO of a powerful company gave money to 3 of his personnel. They each controlled one small group within the company. They were not any different than others like them. One employee was given $5,000, another worker was given $2,000, while the third was given $1,000. The person given $5,000 was wise. He invested his money. From this investment, he gained another $5,000. The second employee was also wise, as he traded with other companies, and he too doubled his money. However, the man given $1,000 took it back home and put it in a safe, for he was afraid of losing it or letting down his boss. After a while, the CEO came back to the men. The man who was given $5,000 went forward and said to his employer, "You have given me $5,000 and I have made $5,000 more." The CEO was very pleased with him and put the employee in charge of many people in the company. The man who received $2,000 then stated, "Look, I too doubled my share of money." The CEO was also pleased and placed this man in charge of many people within the company as well. Then the person who was given $1,000 also went to the CEO and showed him that he had not made any money. The CEO was furious. He said, "You ungrateful fool, you have gained nothing. You did not even put the money into a bank so that I could take it back with interest." The CEO took the $1,000 the man had done nothing with and gave it to the one with $10,000. Then the CEO fired the employee who had done nothing for the company.
The Parable of the Sower and the Seed, modernized by Arista Agnelli. Once there was a world where there was no sight. All was black and dark. No one knew what sight was like. There was no moon, sun, stars, or any shadow of light. Light was unknown. In the world, there were 3 girls. All were amazing and beautiful, although no one knew because their beauty could not be seen. Each girl was special in their own way, gracious, elegant, and kind. They all received one gift, light. Each girl had in their possession a light that would never burn out, but would shine through all time. The light allowed the girls to fully understand what they had felt and heard their whole life. The first girl accepted the light, saw it, and was intrigued. She used the light for a while, and she was captivated by its power. However, it quickly fell out of interest and was placed away, forgotten. The second girl was also fascinated by the light and was eager to share it. She timidly showed it to her friends, excited that they might also share it with her. But when her friends laughed because of her light, she hid it locked away in the box with no key. The final girl was also excited about the light and used it for a while to get used to her newfound sight. Soon, she excitedly shared it with her friends, who rebuked her. But she ignored their words and shared her light with more people until she herself was glowing with light. There was a ripple of light glowing through and among the people, allowing once blind people to see and a once dark world to shine.
Last night I got on the boat to heaven, and by some chance I had brought my dice along. And there I stood, and I hollered, "Someone save me!" But the passengers, they knew right from wrong. Well, the people all said, "Sit down, sit down, sit down, you're rocking the boat." Well, the people all said, "Sit down, sit down, sit down, you're rocking the boat." And the devil will drag you under, by the shark will fell under checkered coat. Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, you're rocking the boat. Rocking the boat, sit down, you're rocking the boat. As I laughed at those passengers to heaven, a great big wave came and washed me overboard. And as I sang and I hollered, "Someone save me!" that's the moment I woke up, thank the Lord. Well, the people all said, "Sit down, sit down, sit down, you're rocking the boat." Well, the people all said, "Sit down, sit down, sit down, you're rocking the boat." And the devil will drag you under, by the shark will fell on your checkered coat. Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, you're rocking the boat. Down, 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 sit 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 down, you're rocking the boat. Sit down, you're rocking the big boat. Sit down, you're rocking the boat. Sit down, you're rocking the great big boat. Sit down, you're rocking the boat. Sit down, you better. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Sit down, you better. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Sit down, you better. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Sit down, you better. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Sit down, you're rocking the boat. And the devil will drag you under, by the shark will fell on your checkered coat. Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, you're rocking the boat. Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, you're rocking the
The Parable of the Good Samaritan, modernized by Dakota McKinley. The Mysterious Man. In the blazing heat where lips are parched and desire the sensational taste of water, a lawyer stood and spoke to the man who claimed to be Jesus. "What should I do to inherit life?" Then the mysterious man said to him, "What is written in the law? What do you read in books and articles on social media?" The lawyer looked blankly at the man and suddenly felt a sense of recollection and thought about a passage he knew as a little boy. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, with all your strength and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself. Jesus looked at the man and said these words, "You have answered right. Do this and you will live eternally." Then the lawyer just looked at this Jesus coldly and then spoke, "Then you, Jesus, the Son of God, answer this question for me. Who is my neighbor?" Without even the slightest hint of hesitation, Jesus spoke to the lawyer. A man was going down to the market to pick up groceries for his aging mother. On the way to the market, a group of low-life muggers awaited their prey. They stripped him, and their fists met bone as they struck the poor, hopeless man to the ground, not even giving him a chance to fight back. Blood poured from his nose, and he lay there hopelessly. They took the money his mother gave from his back pocket of his black dickies and departed. 10 minutes later, a nurse saw the man in agonizing pain. Yet she felt that she was too busy to help, so she crossed to the other side and pretended not to see. Half an hour later, an author saw the man, but walked away because the real-life gore was too raw. An hour or so later, a Christian came up to the critically injured man and placed his hand on the top of his head. Breathing heavily, the Christian ran to the market and bought water, a box of bandages, and a bottle of hydrogen peroxide for the major cuts on his body. When the man came back, he found oozing cuts that were dripping blood and were located in miscellaneous areas of his naked body, and started to pray for the man. "You have been given eternal life," Jesus said to the lawyer. And the lawyer looked at the mysterious man and let out a sigh. He doesn't understand quite yet, but he will, Jesus thought. The lawyer then turned away from the man and started to walk away. But as he walked out of sight, he took one more glance at the man. Jesus called after the lawyer, "Who was the neighbor to the destitute man?" "The neighbor is the man who helped. He understands."
Susie's need our help today. Susie's need our help today. Tell 'em Brooklyn's on the way. Tell 'em Brooklyn's on the way. We are Brooklyn. We are Newsies. We are dogs, whether sheep see racism. Straw me on rhyme with the sour pickle. It's personal health or just an inkle.
A solid gold watch with a chain to twirl it. My very own bed with an indoor toilet. A barbershop cut that costs a quarter. Editor's desk for the Star Reporter. How about that?